Hello. On the topic of closure, which is a word that found its way into our vernacular and you hear it everywhere. Okay? Everyone wants closure. You need closure, you want closure. It doesn't matter what it is either. Friend, business partner, work, relationship, partner, for sure. You want closure. A nice, neat little bow. Even if it was an ugly part of your life, you want closure. It's very normal. What's necessary to recall is the narcissist wants it open ended forever. They want it open ended. They don't want to give you closure. They want to hold, and I understand wanting it, and you might be holding out for it, and they want you to hold on to some kind of hope that you might get closure, because then they're holding on to some kind of control over whether or not they can come in and out of your life. They don't like to relinquish that. Even if they've behaved abominably now and they're half moving on. If they button it up and give you closure, then they're out. And they know it. The door would be closed. For example, like if you really did get closure, if you were to talk to your narcissist and he said, and you got some kind of satisfactory thing, and they said to you, it's been quite a time. I'm sorry for having hurt you. I think we both know I'm not meant for this kind of relationship. I'll never be available to you in the way that you need me to. I wish you the best. I'm going to move on and be my dysfunctional self, and I wish you happiness. That's never going to happen. They want you to want them forever. They get a rise out of that. They can't have it to where you have, because usually closure is an end, right? That's what it is. It's an end. The door's closed now. They can't have that because they need to add you to their bench. So their goal is the opposite of closure. They want to leave it open and collect people. They don't closure with anybody. And they know you're exerting effort. You're okay, baby girl. And spending the energy on thoughts of them in some capacity. Either waiting, hoping, praying, crying, half thinking about them. As time moves on, maybe you're not doing any of those things anymore. Okay? But they know that you know that nothing was closed. So they like to keep you not knowing, wondering if they'll call again, if they'll pick it up again someday, if you'll get answers to the questions that you'll never got. They like to leave you wondering if whether or not you're going to get those answers. They love this. I tried everything to get closure. They will never. They won't directly talk to you about throwing away what you had for something else that doesn't mean anything either. Because that's a big one, right? You're like, well, was it worth it? It doesn't even mean anything, so why? They can't answer. They don't want to answer, and they can't answer. They don't know why. But we know why now, don't we? But they don't. So they can't even offer any explanations anyway. So to even pose the questions are pointless. I mean, it was pointless. First of all, they don't know the answers of why they behave that way. And second of all, they're not going to offer them to you in a nice, neat little package with a bow, like I explained a few minutes ago. I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. You made me feel bad. Whatever they come up with. Which, by the way, may be a normal, non-disordered person. It's cheating is something that people do, and I feel like it's between two people. I don't like to even think about judging what happens between two people and why somebody might do that kind of behavior. But when it comes to light and they're having a conversation, that may involve some kind of closure for one or the other. A healthy, non-disordered person may say the things that maybe you're hoping to hear from your narcissist. I'm so sorry, she didn't mean anything, I don't know what I was thinking, but you don't, and then, but the thing is, you're hoping I never do it again. That's never going to happen either from the narcissist. That's never going to happen from the narcissist. They're not going to be able to offer you any explanation, and they don't know why, but they do know that they don't want you to have the luxury of moving on. The luxury of moving on. Because it's a luxury. Once you clean that up, even in your own mind, however you've done it, and if you are here, many of you have done it, and you've left it in the past, with or without closure. Because we move on and create our own closure, don't we? You have to. You have to find it somehow. They will move on without you, but they don't want you to move on without them. And even if you did, they'll try you again anyway. They want to be able to turn to you in perpetuity. They'll try to reach out to you forever, some say. They all say, but I mean some of them. Like you're never off the table or out of their mind. Like you're on their bench, in their mind. They have a bunch of bench warmers. You're on it forever. Your number's in their phone, and at any moment they could try to reach out for you, even if you're with somebody else. Let's not be that person for the narcissist. That answers them and in perpetuity allows them to ring us because we're looking for closure. It was very hard for me. I like loose ends tied up. And I think that's what kept driving me to eventually respond back. Every time I thought, all right, it's been a month. We can have this conversation. I'll get the answers I want. Or I'll get him to say what I want. Which is ridiculous, because why? Their words don't mean anything, takes no effort, and they're not going to admit it. It's like an interrogation. Is that what I thought? I don't know. But it was very hard for me. I like loose ends tied up. Your closure needs to now be that you are closing the door on the possibility of it reigniting. That has to be your closure, or something closely related to that. It can't be related to them. I'm trying to help you know that they won't give it, they can't give it, they don't want to give it, and they're not going to. So we can't rely on them for the closure. It doesn't mean you can't get it. You just have to formulate your own. They want you thinking about them forever. They love the thought that you will stew and linger. That gives them supply from you, even if they aren't here. You can go forward in your life and have happy and healthy relationships and carry on and have them so far in your rearview mirror that they're just an old ghost story. They cannot, will not, they're incapable. They're going to bounce around life like the way they treated you and they're going to do that in life forever. And they're going to have a long line of people that don't have closure. And they're going to have a long line of people that they can always contact if they're having just a bad enough day in narcissist land and no one is responding to them, or they got into a fight with this one and everything is going wrong. Boom, your phone might ring. That's what they say. And that's when they say to block the person. But they could always leave you a message. They can contact you. There's always a way they could. When I say phone rings, You know what I mean? There's always a way they can reach out to you. They want to be able to do that. So the closure that you may be a person right now going through something, the closure that you're thinking you might get, hoping you do get, begging for from him or her, stop, just stop. They don't want to give it to you. It doesn't matter how many good points you make. They're not listening. La 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 la. They don't want to. And they're going to circumvent the conversation, throw it back to you, answer a question with a question, give you word salad, get off topic, digress 15 ways from Sunday and take 10 lefts. So the topic of conversation now isn't even on what you asked them. Does this all sound familiar? They don't want to give you closure. Anytime, those are birds. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's tons of them outside. And they're loud. But they will come up with anything to deter you from completing your conversation, from completing your inquiry, from getting the satisfaction you want, from getting the questions out that you have. Mine used to say, oh, those old newspapers. You want to talk about old newspapers. Oh, what's with all the questions? It's hilarious, right? What's with all the questions? You ask one thing. What's with all the questions? Well, they get rude right away. Because they're hiding something. They don't want to fess up. They don't want to talk about it. They never want to talk about it. Because they don't want you to have it. And I know you want it. I'm so sorry. I know. But it is impossible with the narcissist. You have to come up with something, some kind of, I started to think of it that I let go of what the idea that I thought it was going to be. I let it go. Okay, so that was all fake. It was all fake. That helped me closure it. It did. It was all fake. Oh, but how do you reconcile the... No. It was fake. Once I wrapped my brain around that, which took forever, because you deny it. You want to think you meant something. You want to think it all meant something. It wasn't all a dream. Once you wrap your brain around the true essence of the nature of a narcissistic relationship and what actually happened to you, once you wrap your brain around that, you leave like this, and you brush it. Okay, well, he didn't land. It becomes crystal clear once you realize that it was a manufactured state of being, that they put you there on purpose. Then you get just like a little angry. You go through that phase, very angry. How dare they do that to me? And they manipulated you, and you go through all that. Once you wrap your brain around the fact that it was all manipulated, closure can be within you. It's something you have to do by yourself. You're not going to get it from him or her. You have to figure out a way to think it through, to know that it is not even something that you should put any stake in, because they want it open-ended. You could have closure. You could be away from them for years, happy with somebody else, and boom, they reach out to you in some way. And that is because they want to keep you thinking about them. That's not closure. Somebody who wants to give you closure, or that you, from what they want, you want them to let you go so you can move on. That's the opposite of what they will ever do. So I just wanted to let you know, just think of a way that you can get it on your own, and then you can move on.